Over the years, Cartoon Network has kept us entertained with shows like Yu Hakusho, Sailor Moon, Gundam, Dragon Ball Z, and many more. All of these shows aired on Toonami, a programming block that started in 1997. It was created by Jason DeMarco and Sean Atkins. In the beginning, Toonami was hosted by Moltar, a villain character from Space Ghost Coast to Coast, voiced by C. Martin Croker.
Sit back and relax. It's Thundercat time.
This would last for 2 years. In 1999, Toonami shifted gears and introduced a new host named Tom, which is short for Toonami Operations Module. Tom was voiced by Sonny Strait. His opening speech was welcoming viewers to the Ghost Planet spaceship Absolution, and reassuring there is no big changes. Same show, same attitude.
3 years ago, my friends at Cartoon Network had a great idea. Combine the finest action cartoons with the fattest beats in computer animation. Now we're taking another important step forward. The Internet.
Also, a late night block called The Midnight Run started the same night, running for 5 hours on Saturday nights. The Midnight Run aired shows with more violence than Toonami's usual lineup. Something cool that Toonami did was put on special events known as TIEs, Total Immersion Events. These showed on TV and online during the week that Dragon Ball Z returned for a new season. The first event was called The Intruder. This was a mini-series that ended with Tom being devoured by an alien blob. During the Intruder series, Tom's AI companion Sarah was introduced. Tom returned after being upgraded to a taller and more evolved character with a deeper voice. This version of him is called Tom 2. He is now voiced by Stephen Bloom.
So here's the deal. Life doesn't always want to be your friend. Sometimes it'll feel like life wants to hurt you.
That was a downer.
But you can't just hide, because nobody likes a quitter.
I'll go first.
You gotta take chances.
A new early morning block, Toonami Rising Sun, ran for 3 hours on Saturdays. The schedule was moved around quite a bit, but the lineup usually consisted of anime shows. I'm guessing that this wasn't as successful as they wanted it to be because it ended in 1 year. 2 years later, Tom was upgraded again. This time he was more of a muscular figure and a bit taller, with a slight voice change.
Okay, here's the deal. First we set it off with Justice League at 5, then catch a dose of DBZ at 5:30, Cyborg 009 at 6, and we wrap it all up with Yu Hakusho. Toonami.
During this time, Toonami was airing for 3 hours throughout the week, airing shows like Dragon Ball, Batman Beyond, Zoids, and Cyborg 009. Television blocks like Disney's One Saturday Morning and Nick at Night cannot compete with the Toonami lineup in my opinion. However, keep in mind that anime shows usually had their fair share of violence and blood, so in April of 2004, Toonami was switched from weekdays to only airing on Saturday starting at 7 o'clock p.m., gaining an extra hour of airtime. I vividly remember this change growing up, and it was really frustrating as Toonami was my #1 source for Dragon Ball Z at the time. Sarah would eventually get a full body, and her voice changed to a British accent. Also, her character looked anime-based. Oftentimes during commercial breaks, Tom and Sarah would review games with a 1 to 10 rating system. Megas XLR is the first show made in America to debut on Toonami. It ran for 2 seasons and 26 episodes. The Saturday night lineup introduced shows like Duel Masters, Zatch Bell, and Naruto. Shows like this did great on the block and boosted ratings. In 2007, Toonami would revamp Tom for the 3rd time, celebrating the 10th anniversary of Toonami. This version of Tom is shorter, and he is assisted by 2 robots, Flash and D. This was a bad decision in my opinion, and I just never understood why they made him look like this. This is definitely my least favorite version of Tom. In September of 2008, at an anime convention, Cartoon Network made an announcement that they canceled Toonami due to low ratings. The final broadcast would air on the same day, with the final show being an episode of Samurai Jack. After cancellation, word of Toonami went quiet for years. until April Fool's Day of 2012, when Adult Swim decided to air a Toonami block as a prank on fans.
You just made my day.
A day which will live in infamy.
Viewers loved seeing Toonami again. The next day, Adult Swim made a tweet asking, "Want it back? Let us know," with the hashtag BringBackToonami tweet a couple days later. Fans responded saying they wanted it back, so a final post was made on April 4th saying, quote, "We've heard you. Thank you for your passion and interest. Stay tuned." After a couple weeks had passed, Adult Swim announced that Toonami would return on May 26th as a late-night block on Saturday nights. On October 6th of the same year, Toonami would be extended to 6 hours, adding Thundercats and Inuyasha to the lineup, also showing episodes of Naruto that were uncut. 1 year later, in 2013, Toonami was given a new look and the previous female host Sarah made her return. It definitely felt like Toonami was getting back to its roots at this point. In 2014, the anime Space Dandy premiered on January 4th. The show had a good run for 2 seasons spanning 26 episodes. Toonami always had a great way of shifting the lineup around, and this was shown throughout the next few years. In 2017, new episodes of Samurai Jack premiered on Toonami. Starting September of the next year, Toonami got an additional hour onto the schedule because of Boruto. However, since then, a number of shows have been removed from the lineup and the airtime has been reduced to only 3 hours. Toonami is still going strong today. It was announced on April 15th that Paranoia Agent is set to premiere on April 25th. I'm definitely waiting for that, as I watched this show when I was a child, but I never really understood it, so I need to give it another go. Toonami will always be remembered for the lineup of shows they aired, how they presented them to us, and of course, the signature character Tom. What was your favorite show that aired on Toonami? Let me know in the comment section. That is the story of how Toonami got started. Adult Swim is the late night programming block of Cartoon Network. It starts at nighttime and ends in the early morning around 6 a.m. Adult Swim made its television debut in 2001 and consisted of numerous animated shows, anime, live action, and even original programming. The first show to air was Home Movies with the episode Director's Cut. This show was one of a kind and pretty entertaining. Cowboy Bebop was the first anime to air on Adult Swim, one of the best animes of all time. As far as original programming, Adult Swim premiered Sealab 2021, The Brack Show, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Harvey Birdman Attorney at Law, and 12 Ounce Mouse. Adult Swim shows are produced by William Street, an in-house studio. Most shows that air on Adult Swim have mature content, sexual references, nudity, violence, strong language, and are targeted for a mature audience of 18 and up. This also showed in the original commercial bumpers, videos of people swimming in a pool and a lifeguard yelling, "All kids out of the pool." Also visible were warning signs for potential violence and strong language, etc. The next year, Adult Swim started Adult Swim Action, showing anime shows starting at 11 p.m. running for 3 hours. My favorite thing about Adult Swim is that they give shows a chance they never had on their original network. It's not an uncommon thing in the world of television for some of the best shows to get canceled before even finishing one season. Amazing shows like Mission Hill, The Oblongs, Home Movies, Futurama, and Family Guy thrived on Adult Swim and got the airtime they all deserved. Also airing episodes that have not been aired but were already written years prior. Adult Swim obtained exclusive rights to Futurama and aired the show in January of 2003. It became one of the biggest shows immediately and a mainstay on the network. Family Guy, however, would become the block's #1 rated program, increasing viewership by 239% and giving Adult Swim the boost they needed. In 2004, on the night the Brak Show got canceled, Adult Swim had a New Year's Eve special that featured characters from different shows having a party at Brak's house. Adult Swim was so different from other programming blocks. For example, in November of 2004, they ran the same episode of Harvey Birdman Attorney at Law 24 times in order to celebrate Election Day. Adult Swim told viewers they needed 1 million fans to visit their website in order to, quote, free hockey chicken. An employee of the company dressed as a chicken in front of a camera viewers could see, and he couldn't be free until the goal of 1 million was reached. Classic Adult Swim. Representatives from Cartoon Network would travel to universities to promote Adult Swim, using flyers presenting the shows. Because Adult Swim was geared a lot towards a college audience, Adult Swim revived Family Guy after it was canceled, making it so popular that Fox had to pick the show back up and order more episodes. Jim Samples, who was executive vice president of Cartoon Network at the time, said, quote, bringing Family Guy to the Adult Swim lineup last April really helped turn the block into a cultural phenomenon with young adults. Adult Swim began to air episodes of King of the Hill. It became a fan favorite on the channel, and greatly expanded the audience of Adult Swim. I remember watching it every night, and it made me a huge fan of the series. Adult Swim is one of the greatest late night programming blocks of all time, and truly one of its own. They weren't afraid to take risks and do things different. It's a big part of my childhood and teenage years. Adult Swim introduced us fans to numerous shows that we would have never seen if it didn't exist. I had a great time going through the history of Adult Swim, and it brought back great memories. I've recently made videos about shows that have aired on Adult Swim over the years. If you'd like to check them out, I'll drop a link in the description. I always loved Adult Swim growing up, and it means a lot to me and holds a special place in my childhood. What shows do you remember from Adult Swim? Let me know in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. And until next time, stay up late productions.